On this episode of In 60. No Doubt is back.
You can tell us, you can read my lips. I'm trying to get a hold on this.
Album and ticket sales in the multi-millions, double Grammy wins, 9 top 10 singles.
Don't think I know what you're thinking.
It's been over a decade since No Doubt put out a record, and a lot can happen in that time. For the next hour, Gwen, Tony, Tom, and Adrian get us all caught up.
We made it, you guys. Can you believe it?
Did it?
We're on the radio. It never gets old.
These 4 friends have been through it all. Their early days in Anaheim, California, bound by tragedy, commercial failure, and heartbreak.
We're reopening the wounds over and over again, 20 times a day sometimes.
To how Gwen's solo success cast doubt over the return of the band.
Was there ever a moment you thought this band wasn't going to continue?
And now No Doubt returns, a united front facing a new world with their new music.
You look it hard.
Rock and roll survivors who know all about false starts, and this interview is no exception.
Do it again?
Yeah,
Like the whole
Office,
top of the thing again?
English version.
But Gwen didn't hold it against me.
You're a really good interviewer, by the way. You're unbelievable. Where's your paper? Like,
Dog here, baby!
And I really mean it this time. And you know it's such a trip.
This is No Doubt in 60.
No doubt!
yay, here we are.
You feel so far away from me.
Why don't you come closer?
I'd like to come. I'll just throw some high fives over. So, coming back, new world, new music. You have new music. Is the confidence level good? Do you feel nervous about bringing new music into this world after not having done it for so long?
I don't want to sound cocky, but I'm going to be truthful. I feel more confident with this record than I did on Rocksteady.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Interesting.
I just think there's so many good songs, and we've actually had a challenge on which songs to pick for singles. And once again, I don't want to sound arrogant, but I just feel extremely confident with this record.
What you guys?
I think it comes with the music, you know, determines everything about how you feel. And I think when we made this record, the last few years we've been making this record, it was like we were all so on the same page about the kind of album we wanted to make. I mean, what is the point at this point to put a record out unless we think it's going to be like amazing and our favorite record we'd ever done and like our best work, and like, you know, we had to really fight to make this record. It wasn't like we just, you know, glided into the studio and had luxury of time. It was really like, it was this passion and this drive to want to really make it and have to fight for it. So with all that hard work behind us, and to actually know what the record is, because we're addicted to it and listening to it in our cars and like just about ready busting to share it, there is a confidence that comes with it, and it's more about like knowing how much we love it, and knowing the people that are actually supported us and that they're waiting for it and they're excited for it. It's those people that give us the confidence, the people that have given us this life and supported us, those fans, I guess, that kind of just gets you riled up. It's exciting to share it, you know.
Tom, does any part of this feel like starting over then? Because there was such a long break, or is it just like riding a bike?
It is like riding a bike. You know, when we got together to start writing in 2008 originally, you know, a lot of the time, even though that particular group of writing sessions we didn't come up with much, right? We started out with some writer's block, but it was still about, like it was in the old days, hanging out together as friends and talking about music and talking about our lives. And I think that, you know, that's what went into the making of the record, at least at the beginning, and it felt natural. We've known each other for so long. We're almost like, it's like a family, or we're like siblings in the sense that we know each other really well. You know, we're almost like best friends.
Almost.
Nearly.
Sorry, that's my joke.
He gets in trouble for saying that. I think I
I
said that.
I did that to get a
quite
laugh.
often, yeah.
But you know, we are best friends.
I don't think at this point in our lives, like, it becomes more about the process and the outcomes. You know what I'm saying? It's like, the daily, getting together and writing, the struggle of that is fun, and like our lives have become so complicated and hard as we've had children and taken on all these other projects that, that time together is actually the easy, like kind of the easy fun part compared to like being a mom and like having to like figure all the real life stuff out. And so it was a lot of fun, even though it was really hard. I mean, the hard part was more, how am I going to get there and not fail, like by being away from the kids that day and like not have enough sleep and all the, dividing our time up. But actually doing music is it's a luxury these days.
It is a whole new world, though. It's crazy to think that it wasn't that long ago, but things have changed so much. I mean, when Rocksteady came out, there was no YouTube, no Twitter, no Facebook. That's insane.
It's insane.
It's insane. But I see that everybody's, on Twitter. You guys you're handling it. Anybody?
We tweet each other to communicate. It's easier to text each other and tweet each other than actually have a conversation.
Are you tweeting pictures of food and retweeting quotes from the Dalai Lama, that kind of stuff? Is that what you're doing?
I haven't done too much of that.
I think Tom's the best tweeter of all of us.
Oh, thanks.
Your Twitter.
It's nice, man.
I like, I'm just weird. It's not that I'm weird. I like reading the responses from the fans. It's so immediate. You put up a picture, hey, we're in the studio today, we're working on this song, and there's so many, there have been so many encouraging responses from fans, you know what I mean? It would be fun in the studio to see that. And those are like little shots of confidence as well. It's like when we went on tour in 2009, and we realized there's this huge audience that is there for us, and that gave us, I think, a lot of confidence to make this record. And so reading people's encouraging tweets is a little dose of that every day. Like, wow, we have people who care and who are waiting. And then that energy gets back into the making of the album. I think we all agree there's no point, like Gwen said, in putting out an album unless we feel like we've made every effort for it to be the best we can make.
A lot of people are talking about recently the Twitter interaction you have with Lady Gaga, and I thought that was interesting, Gwen, because she was kind of showing that, she understood why her success is there. I mean, she was saying, I love No Doubt, you should listen to this, and I like that, but it got me thinking about when you guys had this time off collectively. I know everybody was doing music. I mean, you were playing drums with people, you were producing, you guys had worked together, but when No Doubt wasn't making music together, and you were sitting back, were there new artists or are there new artists that really struck you or stood out to you that you really dug and made you, kind of motivated you to want to make music?
I think there's always songs you hear. Gwen and I talk about this all the time. There's songs you hear and you go, damn, I wish I wrote that song. And that, that kind of stuff happens all the time, but it's so funny. When we went back into writing, we were referencing all the stuff we grew up with. All the 80s music that influenced us so much, like Depeche Mode and The Cure and OMD and all these amazing English bands. And we referenced that stuff in a different way. We would actually go and sit down, listen to the songs, get the lyrics out, and rediscover the songs. Because when you're singing along with a song that you've known for 20, 30 years, it takes on a different life inside your head. But when you're actually looking at the lyrics and going, oh, that's what he said, that's what he was trying to say, you rediscover the song. We did that a lot in trying to get inspired to write music for this album.
Lauryn Hill has the similar situation where she put the record out, Miseducation, in '98, and that was it. And it's been a much different situation for her. There's been other circumstances, but the legacy has kind of grown, and then when she's trying to get back and do music, people are like dying to hear this music because there hasn't been anything else. And I heard her say something interesting in one of the rare interviews that she does, where she said stopping the momentum was really hard, but starting it up again, she found it very difficult. So what about for you guys? Was it difficult to kind of stop what was happening after Rocksteady? Was that harder or harder to say, let's get it going again?
I don't think either one of them was hard. I mean, stopping was it just felt like the right thing to do. Since we were kids, we did nothing but just go to the next thing. No breaks, no vacation. It was just like on and on and on. So it felt really good to have the freedom to have like a break, and not have your whole life planned. I mean, we toured so much. When we went on Tragic Kingdom tour, I was living at my parents' house, okay? I had my $2,000 in my bank account and my makeup box. And we left. I said, we're just going to go on tour. It was 2.5 years we were gone. We went around the world. I mean, that's a lot of work and a lot of, physical work and emotional work. And so it had been like that nonstop. So to take a break felt great. you know, and it was inspiring to do all these other things we wanted to do. And to start up again for me, you know, I was so inspired during that kind of dance record period. I never intended for it to go on as long as it did, but you can't stop something that's moving and it's just going, and your inspiration is where it's at. As soon as I finished the last show of the 106 shows that I did, it was like I knew I was ready. I was excited again. I was like, let's do this. You know, I didn't know what kind of music we were going to make, but I knew I wanted to do it. And then that month I ended up getting pregnant with Zuma, which complicated things and I really wanted it, so it was really exciting. But it was all at once. And that's kind of why things got slowed up a bit when we started writing.
No Doubt knows all about things going slow. For almost a decade, the band struggled on the road with disappointing gigs.
We played Oxford, Mississippi, and there was more people on stage than in the audience.
And a lack of support from the record company.
The record store next door didn't
Yes.
have our record in
No
it. We were like,
record
why are we
stores.
playing here and our record's not even in the
yeah.
store? We were so frustrated. Everything has to happen, do you know what I'm saying? I don't really know how it happened. It's a miracle.
Take this pink ribbon off my eyes.
And what happens when the girl in your group grows up.
How am I going to keep singing Just a Girl? You know, how does that fit into my life now?
When No Doubt in 60 continues.
This world is forcing me to